Imagine waking up tomorrow to a financial headline so massive it reshapes the entire global economic landscape. A headline that changes the value of money in bank accounts and investment portfolios from Baghdad to Hanoi to your own hometown. This isn't a drill, and it's not the plot of a new movie. This is the palpable, nerve-wracking tension currently electrifying the world of currency trading as two of the most watched, yet misunderstood, currencies on the planet, the Iraqi dinar and the Vietnamese dong, begin transmitting signals that veteran analysts haven't seen in years. Signals that suggest the ground is shifting beneath our feet and the very structure of their value could be on the verge of a historic recalibration. The screens in trading rooms that usually display the predictable, managed rhythms of these exotic currencies are now flickering with anomalies. Tiny, almost imperceptible spikes in demand, sudden tightening in liquidity, and whispers in forums usually reserved for the most serious of macroeconomic discussions. Why is this happening now? And what does it mean for the global financial system? The answer lies not in a single explosive event, but in a slow, deliberate, and coordinated series of actions taken by the central banks of Iraq and Vietnam, actions that those in the know interpret as the final chess moves before a major play is announced. The growing nervousness among the analyst community isn't stemming from the usual online hype or speculative rumors that have long surrounded these currencies. It's emanating from a cold, hard analysis of behavioral shifts in the market's very architecture. The Iraqi dinar, as you know, is a currency held in a tight, authoritative grip by the Central Bank of Iraq, a unit that does not flutter without direct intention and intervention from the highest levels of monetary authority. Yet, in recent weeks, those with access to the deepest liquidity pools have noticed a subtle but undeniable constriction in the availability of US dollars within the Iraqi financial system, a strategic move that typically precedes a significant policy announcement. This isn't a random market fluctuation. This is the financial equivalent of a government quietly moving its pieces into position before a declaration of monumental change. Simultaneously, half a world away, the Vietnamese dong is exhibiting its own unique set of pressures. Vietnam's economy, a powerhouse of global manufacturing, is caught in the crossfire of a strong US dollar and slowing international trade, forces that are testing the resilience of its managed currency regime. The State Bank of Vietnam has been forced to intervene in the markets with a frequency and intensity that has not been seen in over a decade, buying and selling vast sums of foreign reserves to maintain stability. When two currencies from entirely different economic ecosystems, one an oil-rich nation emerging from conflict, the other a manufacturing titan integrated into global supply chains, begin showing these synchronized stress fractures at the exact same moment in time, the world's financial professionals don't see a coincidence, they see a correlation. And in the world of high finance, correlation is the siren that blares long before the storm is visible to anyone else. It points to a deeper, hidden structural change in the global monetary order, a shift that is being felt first in these emerging markets before it inevitably ripples out to affect everyone. This is why the next 24 to 48 hours are being watched with such bated breath. The decisions made in Baghdad and Hanoi could very well set the tone for currency stability, inflation, and investment flows for the rest of the year, making this not just a story for currency speculators, but a developing global event that could impact us all. To truly grasp the gravity of the situation, we must delve deeper into the specific, deliberate reforms being undertaken by the Central Bank of Iraq, because this is where the narrative moves from speculation to observable, tangible fact. For the past 2 years, Iraq has been on a relentless campaign to modernize its financial system, a Herculean effort to clean up the black market channels that have siphoned billions of dollars out of its official economy and to impose a new era of regulatory compliance on its banking sector. These are not minor administrative tweaks. This is a full-scale monetary revolution. The central bank has aggressively cracked down on unauthorized dollar transactions, implemented sophisticated digital payment tracking systems to monitor the flow of capital in and out of the country, and, most importantly, has built up a war chest of foreign currency reserves that is among the strongest the nation has possessed in its modern history. Think about what that means. A country that has been synonymous with economic instability and volatility is now sitting on a mountain of financial strength, a buffer that exists for one primary reason: to weather a period of significant monetary transition. This is the clearest signal yet that the Iraqi government is not just contemplating a change in the dinar's value. It is actively, methodically preparing the battlefield for it. Every tightened control, every closed loophole, and every added billion to the reserve is a brick being laid in the foundation for a new, more robust, and internationally recognized currency. This is what analysts mean when they talk about measurable behavior instead of rumor. The psychology of the market is shifting because the actions of the central bank are unmistakably those of an institution on the cusp of a major announcement. They are eliminating variables, securing their position, and ensuring that when the recalibration happens, it is orderly and controlled, not chaotic. Now, let's pivot to Vietnam, where the story is different in its details but identical in its implications. The State Bank of Vietnam is facing a classic emerging market dilemma: how to maintain the competitiveness of its exports, the lifeblood of its economy, while simultaneously preventing its currency from weakening too drastically and importing inflation. The pressure from a resiliently strong US dollar has been immense, and the central bank's response has been to intervene more frequently and with greater force than at any point in the recent past. They have been actively selling dollars from their reserves to prop up the dong, a clear sign that the market's natural momentum is pushing the currency toward depreciation. But analysts are looking beyond the intervention itself and focusing on the subtler tactics: slight adjustments to trading bands, nuanced changes in market liquidity, and public statements that carry a new, more urgent tone. These are the classic, telltale signs that a central bank is bracing for a movement, that it is preparing to either launch a more powerful defense or, more likely, strategically reposition the currency to a new, more sustainable level. The nervousness in the market comes from this very public tug-of-war. Vietnam is caught between an unyielding global force and an immovable domestic need, and such conflicts are rarely resolved with a whisper. They typically conclude with a market adjustment, a repricing that sends shockwaves through regional financial systems. The synchronized pressure on both the dinar and the dong is what makes this moment in history so uniquely dangerous and potentially profitable. It suggests that deeper, global macroeconomic forces, perhaps related to US interest rate policy, global commodity prices, or a broader realignment of emerging market assets, are reaching a critical inflection point, and Iraq and Vietnam are simply the first dominoes to feel the strain, the canaries in the global economic coal mine whose current distress is a warning to the entire world. So, where does this leave us, the observers, the investors, the everyday people watching this story unfold from the sidelines? It leaves us at a pivotal crossroads of information and action, where understanding the why is just as important as understanding the what. The final piece of this complex puzzle is the market psychology that turns central bank policy into global financial reality. Markets are not cold, unfeeling machines. They are living, breathing ecosystems driven by human emotion, fear, and greed. When traders and institutional investors collectively sense that a government is preparing for a shift, they instinctively begin to adjust their positions. They might start accumulating a currency in anticipation of a revaluation, or they might rapidly sell it off fearing a devaluation. This initial movement, driven by perception and analysis, then creates a feedback loop that adds even more pressure to the currency, often forcing the central bank's hand and turning a potential future event into an immediate reality. For the Iraqi dinar, this psychology is supercharged by years of passionate speculation and a global community of holders hoping for a life-changing revaluation. But the current wave of attention is fundamentally different. It's not based on forum posts or anonymous tips. It's grounded in the empirical evidence of the Central Bank of Iraq's own policy decisions. The stricter control of the dollar supply, the massively increased reserve strength, and the systematic cleaning of the financial system are all actions that build credibility and trust, and in the financial world, trust is the most valuable currency of all. This newfound credibility is what makes the current moment so precarious. The market is beginning to trust that Iraq is serious, and that belief alone is enough to alter trading patterns on a global scale. For the Vietnamese dong, the psychology is that of a cautious, strategic game. The market knows Vietnam will not let its currency collapse, but it also knows that the nation cannot fight global market forces indefinitely. The increased frequency of intervention is a signal that the state bank is preparing the market for a new normal, a subtle but important adjustment that will allow its export economy to remain competitive without triggering a domestic inflation crisis. When you combine the high-stakes, hope-driven psychology of the dinar with the calculated, stability-driven psychology of the dong, and you see both currencies flashing warning signs simultaneously, you get a perfect storm of financial uncertainty. Analysts aren't afraid of a catastrophic collapse. They are wary of the unknown, the unpredictable chain of events that a significant movement in either of these currencies could unleash. A sudden revaluation of the dinar could destabilize regional oil economies and alter global debt dynamics, while a strategic devaluation of the dong could trigger a wave of competitive devaluations across Asia, sparking a new chapter of currency wars. This is no longer a niche story for forex traders. It is a developing global narrative about economic sovereignty, the power of central banks, and the interconnectedness of our modern financial world. The signals are on the board, the pieces are in motion, and the decisions made in the coming hours will be studied by economists and historians for years to come. This is your opportunity to be on the right side of that history. If you found this breakdown insightful and you want to continue this journey with us, to get the real-time analysis that cuts through the noise and delivers the unvarnished truth, then you cannot be a passive spectator. Your financial literacy and awareness are your greatest assets. So, I am urging you to take action right now. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because our channel is dedicated to providing you with this level of deep, analytical content as this story develops. We are your eyes and ears on the front lines of these market movements, and we will be here to guide you through every twist and turn. Don't miss out on the critical updates that could follow. Subscribe, stay informed, and let's navigate the future of global finance together.